Welcome back to MNUFC TV. I'm going to start the season off um, going into Portland. Um, 25th season of Major League Soccer. And I'm ecstatic. Our team is looking very good. We had a lot of new off-season additions. Um, not going to get into all that right now, but we'll talk a little bit about them. At least the ones that were on the team sheet tonight. The Loons traveled to Portland for the first game of the 25th season of the Major League Soccer. And actually, no one has won in Portland on opening day ever until today, actually, because we come out victorious 3-1. And this will be the instant match reaction. For the first about 20 minutes, we came out with the first game jitters, played extremely bad, actually. Amarilla couldn't get a touch. Gasper was giving the ball away quite frequently. No one could really make a tackle. Portland had most of the ball in that first about 20 minutes, and they were really dominating. And it at first was a little nerve-wracking, but it just seemed to be first game jitters as the next 20 minutes we kind of started to get into the game a little bit. But I think Ozzy was a bit lucky to even maybe stay on the field. He gets a yellow in the 31st, and it was a very high challenge. I think it was the right call with the yellow card, but I don't necessarily think he was scotch-free because he could have easily been sent off. And with Ishmael, I believe that was his name. I probably am pronouncing it awfully, but that was the ref tonight. And he's been in the MLS for several years, I believe, because he's been in it ever since I've been watching the Loons in the MLS, and they have not been very. He's not been very consistent. I don't believe. I thought he was very favored towards Portland in a lot of aspects. Yeah, we got a couple calls. Yeah, they didn't get a couple. Actually, at the end of the game, I thought they maybe should have. They were onside for their goal that got disallowed. I thought it was very close, and we got lucky there. But Ozzy picks up a yellow in the 31st, and it was rightfully a yellow. And then Montier picks up a yellow shortly after that in the 38th, stopping a counterattack by Portland, and it was a very tactical foul. We would have been caught out terribly with, I think, only Molino running back, and we had another defender back, or maybe two, but we would have got caught out, and they would have definitely maybe had an opportunity from that. So it was a very tactical foul. And then right before halftime, they actually picked up a foul, and I thought it was a little bit late that they should have maybe had a yellow card, or not a foul, but they should have had a yellow card a little bit sooner than the 43rd minute. But shortly after the restart, it was tied 0-0 at halftime. And I thought both teams had their opportunities. We had a couple, but we couldn't get that final ball. We couldn't really find that final ball, and we're getting right up close, getting close opportunities. But like I said several times, we just couldn't get that final ball in that first 45. Couple decent chances. People weren't making runs to the back post. Finley should have been there one, and the other one was just a split second too late for a tap in off a good load shot who played I thought very well tonight after coming in last year off of his holiday in between his off season. I thought after a preseason under his belt, he came out looking very good, even though he wasn't assist or he didn't get a goal tonight. I thought he played very well. So, and then but the thing about after we score with Molino, it was unfortunately right after that Ike had a very bad challenge in the box on Diego Valeri or not Diego Valeri, Mora, their new striker that they bought from Liga MX. Can't quite remember what team they bought him from, Portland, but he was very lively and was a handful to deal with all night. But Ike put a bad foot in and caught him, and it was a penalty. And Diego Valeri slots it in perfectly for them to tie it in the 56th minute. Then shortly after that, Diego Valeri actually picked up a yellow card, stopping one of our our quick free kicks, which rightfully so he should. And then um, we were creating a lot more opportunities, and we were creating them on the break. A lot of really, really good opportunities, and it looked like we were going to get something soon. They made a sub, um, Esprilla on, taking off one of the Charas. And then right after that, Diego Chara picks up a yellow. So that was really nice. And I thought, I don't know if I just couldn't tell the difference between the two sometimes when they're fouling our players, but I thought the yellow cards could have came a little bit sooner on a foul or two sooner. But right after that, Ethan Finley gets caught loose, and he was a menace all night on that right wing. And if he has a great season, we will have a great season. I thought he had to score a lot of goals last year to pick up the slack from Angelo, and I think Amarilla, with Finley being able to rely on Amarilla to score, he'll be able to have a lot more assists, but he'll still be able to chip in with some goals throughout the year, I think. But Ethan Finley with a beautiful ball to Amarilla for the second goal, and Amarilla finishes it perfectly like a number 9 should, and heads it straight down into the ground, hard for Clark to save. And we go up 2-1, and right off the kickoff, really they get the ball to Miller after they are wasteful with possession, and we just kick it deep, and Amarilla wins the ball, gets it to, I believe it was Finley, and then or maybe it was Lowe, then Finley, but anyway, it gets to Finley eventually, and he hits one up and over the two defenders that were closing in on him, and Molino's guy went to go bite on Finley and was wide open and slots it into the bottom right. Clark gets a hand on it, but Molino hits it too hard for his second brace, and an assist from Ethan Finley, who had a great night. I think I'd have to give the goal, or if Molino did have 2 goals, but I almost would have wanted to save Finley with the man of the match with 2 beautiful balls, putting him on a platter. Even though Molino probably deserves man of the match with the 2 goals and played outstanding in the cam role tonight, they both played great, which is awesome. So it's hard to kind of decide who to pick, but after that, it's kind of wrapped up. Hassani gets subbed in for Molino in the 81st. They try to bring on Ebola C, who just signed a new contract recently, to kind of be maybe a handful. They took off a center defensive mid, and it just was not enough for them to break through, as we subbed off Amarilla in the 85th, and Aaron Schofield gets subbed on, and I liked how tall he was, and he was a very good defensive presence to close out the game, and I think that'll be really what he's used for. As Abu was our third choice striker, which gave us a lot of pace. Schofield gives us a little bit of different aspect, not as much pace, but a big, tall, hold-up striker, it looked like, that could help defensively and had a lot of work rate. They made one more sub at the end to kind of maybe get a last cinch goal, and they, like I said earlier, they did have a goal that I thought maybe was right or wrongfully disallowed, who looked potentially onside. Mora, their striker, no one from Liga MX, I believe he scored the goal, and it looked like Boxall maybe kept him on, but it wasn't when it did not go to VAR, as it did not look like a clear and obvious error, as they would say. And Loons go out victorious in 3 points, 3-1, and the first team ever to beat Portland in Portland on an opening day, which I think is a pretty hard thing to do considering Portland has been one of the powerhouses of the MLS. Maybe not last year, they kind of struggled, but since they've been in the league, they've been recently one of the better teams. Um, like I said, maybe not a couple years, but a little bit before that, really good team. So it's a really good away win for the Loons, and that's the instant match reaction. Um, so onwards and upwards, and 3 points as always. Come on, you Loons!